Welcome back to Washington Watch. I'm Tony Perkins, and ran out of time that last segment, but I just wanted to point you to the website. I know we have many members of the military that listen to our programs, and I get messages from some quite frequently, and especially about this vaccine. In fact, I got one earlier today, a friend whose son is in the military texted me about this vaccine. I encourage you to go to First Liberty. Their website there is on tonyperkins.com. You can follow the links over there. Willing to help. They are leading the way as it pertains to the military in this vaccine mandate. Now, let me anger everybody. Once again, I'm going to make this statement. I am not anti-vaccine. I think there are issues with the vaccine, but my biggest issues are with the mandate. And I think if you're in depending on your health situation, the risk that you may be in, you've got to weigh the risk of the vaccine with the risk of getting COVID. I've had COVID, I have natural immunity. And this is one of the issues I want to talk about, is the White House, through the Office of Management and Budget, issued a statement last Tuesday strongly opposing one of the provisions that was in the Defense Authorization Act that would exempt from the COVID vaccine mandate those service members who had natural immunity. Makes perfect sense. All the studies say that actually that protection is better than the vaccine. The White House also strongly opposes a provision prohibiting adverse actions against service members who refuse to get the COVID shot. That was put in actually by Congressman Mark Green. The White House claims such a prohibition would detract from readiness. Oh, really? Let me tell you what's going to detract from readiness. Members who are leaving the military because of this mandate and those refusing to join because of the leftist policies of this administration. Joining me to talk more about this is our own Lieutenant General Jerry Boykin, Executive Vice President here at the Family Research Council and a founding member of the Army's Delta Force. He spent 36 and a half years in the United States Army, the last 4 years of his career as Deputy Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence. General, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Tony. I'm glad to be with you.
All right, we're talking about what's happening in the Coast Guard just a few moments ago with Mike Berry, who you work closely with on a number of our military coalition issues. But let's talk about men and women who are getting out of the military because of this mandate, or those who may not join. Is that a real fear? Is that something that's actually happening?
It is happening. It's happening right now. And I can tell you that I get calls, I get texts, I get emails almost every day from people who are asking for help, but they are making very clear that if they're forced into a no-win situation, they're going to leave the military. And some of them have invested a lot of years in our military. And I also will tell you that just as you do, I talk to moms and dads across the country as I travel around to speak. And there are an awful lot of families that are right now inclined to tell their son and daughter, do not join the military. We do not support that. And that's a real shame, Tony, when we've got a population that doesn't want the offspring to serve.
And a moment ago, when I was talking with Mike Berry about the chaplains, a lot of the younger service member going to the chaplains, but we're seeing, as you mentioned, you made reference to some who have many years in our nation's military are opting out, either retiring early, some actually leaving before they finish their 20 years because of this mandate. And of course, this is really kind of the straw that broke the camel's back for many of them, because it's all of the other policies that this administration has been pursuing. But let me ask you this. Given that exit from our military, and as you just pointed out, a potential problem for recruitment, are you concerned about national security and what might be around the corner if we have to go face to face with a country like China?
I am indeed, Tony, but combine what you just said about why they will leave and why they won't come in at all, and then add on top of that the fact that we have changed Donald Trump's transgender policy, and now we are letting people come into the military who are going to have to go through an extensive medical process We're going to pay for it as American citizens. What about the readiness of our military when you know you're bringing people in that are going to be non-deployables for at least a year? This is a hoax. This is not about the vaccine. It's not about the virus itself. This is about control. It is about establishing control over our whole country. And you start with the military, because if you can bring the military in line, you can make the military compliant, the rest sort of falls into place. And that's what this is about. I tell you, Tony, as I told you earlier today, I hope this winds up in the Supreme Court, because I do not see how this can stand.
Yeah. You know what? I think you're absolutely right. And if they want to prove you wrong, if the Biden administration wants to prove you wrong, then they ought to sit down and have a conversation about what's in the NDAA, recognizing natural immunity and not forcing those men and women to get the vaccine if they have natural immunity. That would be a place to start. That's not the end of the conversation. But until they're willing to have that conversation, I think they have a hard time proving what you just said being wrong. General, thanks so much for joining us today. Always great to talk with you.
Yeah, good to be with you, Tony. Thanks.
And your hair needs to be combed. It's a little out of place there.
Is it?
Yeah. You can borrow my comb when you get in.
Which one were you referring to?